Welcome guys. Today let's solve the Leetcode problem 1219, path with the maximum gold. In this question we have given a 2D integer array grid. In the each cell it is representing the available gold in that cell, and we have to return the maximum gold we can collect by following the below 4 rules. We can go in 4 directions: left, right, up and down. We cannot visit the same cell again, which means if we are coming from the cell and we cannot return back to the same cell again, and never visit a cell with a 0 good. If a cell is having a value 0 means we should not visit that cell. And the last rule is can start from any cell. In the given 2D integer array, we can start from any of the index if we want, and we have the main objective is we need to return the maximum gold that we can collect from any cell we can start. While observing this question, if you see, we have to return the maximum gold and we can start from any cell, and also we can go in 4 directions. This all we can closely observe. It is a like in this question we have to explore all the possible ways, and we have to find all the ways how much of gold we can collect, and we have to return the maximum amount of gold we can collect in, while comparing all the possible ways. So we we have to explore all the possible ways, and yeah, this is the typical backtracking question. If you see, this is typical backtracking solution, sorry, question. And whenever you find out this is a backtracking question means you again have to observe whether this question is solvable using a dynamic programming, because most of the questions we have more sub problems are calculating repeatedly, which resulting in an excessive time complexity. In that case, we can use the dynamic programming to reduce the time complexity of the backtracking question. But in this question, if you closely watch, you can start from the any cell and you have to return the maximum. So if you are starting from this cell means you are going to 8 and you are never going to 6 means the value will something around you will get it, and you will store it in this index. After you start from the 8, if you go to 6 means there is some value, but in that value you are already calculating the 8 in that cell, so it will not give you the correct result. So you can clearly see dynamic programming is not applicable. And there is another trick also to find whether this question is solvable using a dynamic programming. Just go to the constraints and check for the length of the array or given inputs. If you see the given input is just 15, which means we can use like this question is an typical backtracking question only. If it is, let's say, more than like around 100 or more than 1000 means, then it is very clear that we can solve using the dynamic programming, because that question we can optimize to we might get the optimized time complexity. So yeah, this trick is useful whenever if you want to confirm whether this question is a backtracking question or a dynamic programming question. So yeah, after we find out this is not a dynamic programming, we have to use the backtracking algorithm. So yeah, to like how we will solve this question is, first iterate the grid and start from every cell and compute the maximum gold we will get from that cell, and return the maximum value we are getting. Yeah, this is the approach. Let's solve this question using backtracking algorithm. Okay, I will have some global variables because I will use some another helper function, and for the helper function we need this variable, so I'm having these variables as a global variable, which is nothing but the length only. This dot r is equals to grid dot length. This is row wise length, and this dot c is equals to grid of 0 dot length. This is column wise length. Okay, now we have to explore each and every possibility. Is less than or I plus plus. Again, for integer j is equals to 0, j is less than c, j plus plus. Before that we need one another variable to store the answer. Answer equals to 0. Here we need a like we have to check whether the current cell is not equals to 0. Grid of I or j is not equals to 0, because in this question they have mentioned never visit a cell with gold 0 gold. So we should check whether the current cell is not equals to 0 or not. Okay, if the current cell is not equal to 0 means then we can compare. Answer is equals to math dot max answer comma our function name, let's say maximum gold path. In this we will give the pass the grid as well as I and j. This is enough. After getting the value for the each cell, we will get the maximum amount of gold we can collect from starting that the cell we are passing the index I and j, and we have to get the maximum value and store it in the answer and just simply return the answer. Now let's create the algorithm function. Private int maximum gold path. This we are getting 2D array grid and integer I and integer j. Now here we need to store the current value. Integer temp is equals to grid of I comma j and make the current value as 0. Why we are making this value 0 is means like we are already visited this place, right? So I am making this value as 0, and now let's start the like now we have to explore in the 4 directions. For that I have another direction arrays. Here if you see, like I will always use this kind of approach. Like for the 4 directions I will have this 4 directions, and for the 8 directions means I will also have this 8 directions. Here if you see -1 comma 0 for the 0th index, if you see -1 and 0, which means if I am, let's say I am in the index the cell 8, if I have to go up means I have to reduce my row -1, and I should be in the same column as well, so -1 0. And for the right side I have to make the column +1, so 0 comma 1. If I go down means row +1 but column equal to 0, so yeah, 1 0. If I go left means row should be 0 but the column should be -1. Yeah, by doing this we might be saved from some kind of typo errors or some. Yes, so yeah, let's explore the all 4 ways. For integer d equals to 0, d is less than 4, d plus plus, and here integer x is equals to I plus direction x of d, and integer y is equals to j plus direction y of d. By this way we will get the indexes I told you, right? Just now, to go up, to go right, to go down, and to go left. By this way we will get the 4 indexes, and just simply check whether this index is valid or not. If x is greater than or equal to 0 and x is less than or, and y should be greater than or equal to 0 and y should be less than c, and grid of I comma j should not be 0. If these conditions are satisfied means we can compute, and before that we need another variable integer max goals equals to 0, sorry, temp, because we already have in temp value the current cell value, and okay, this should be 0 only because this is to compute the 4 directions value. To get the maximum value, max goals equals to math.max max goals comma again the same function maximum goal path. Here we need to pass again the same grid, but here we need to pass x comma y because that is the our next direction indexes. By this way we will get the maximum goal from that direction, and we have to compute whether in which direction we will get the maximum value. We have to store that value in the max goals. After getting the answer stored in our max goal, just simply return the max goals plus temp. Yeah, by this way we will get the current value grid as well as the next directions value. By this way we will get the current indexes maximum goal we can get while exploring all the possible ways from the starting point. And if you see, we are making the grid current value as 0 to not go to the same cell again, but for the backtracking question we have to revert back the changes we have done, right? So for that we are making grid of I comma j is equals to 10. By this way we have revert back the changes we have done while backtracking. And yeah, I think everything is looks good. Let's see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, maximum goals. Oh, here grid of x comma y. Sorry for this, because we need to check our further directions only, like our next direction should not be 0. Yeah, now it's working good. Let's try submitting it out. Wow, it got submitted. So the time complexity will be, this loop will run for n square. Let's, for this question they have mentioned n into m. So yeah, time complexity is here n into m. And if you see again this function, if you see for every cell, if you observe in that question, if let's say we are starting from this cell means again this cell will start to explore all the possibilities, which means again it will explore the entire grid. So again it will take n into m, so which directly means n square into m square. Let's say if n and m is equals to means it is n power 4 time complexity, and space complexity is often because we are not using any extra space, and this also a constant space only. This is also not considered as any space complexity. So yeah, we are using constant space. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new, and see you guys in the next video.